legit. Anything you want.
There's that call again. Window of a great buying opportunity with gold and silver has been spotted. The question is whether the window is just now opening, or will it quickly slam shut? Here's some insight. President Trump sure is getting nervous, and if I'm right about my theory that the globalists' deep state plan to crash the stock market into the midterm elections, then there is every reason for him to be nervous. As such, we did not just get one tweet about the stock market yesterday, it's literally a cutthroat, dog-eat-dog world out there right now. I mean, the socialists resort to threats, but when I read that first tweet, I'm not sure how anybody can argue it is anything but a threat. Basically, the president is saying, vote for Republicans or the stock market will go down even more. What is also odd is that he is talking about the Venezuela financial model. First of all, nobody there has any money, so there is no money to be taxed. Secondly, pen borders. Seriously? As if millions of people would love to just bum rush into the socialist paradise of Venezuela? We've been following the Venezuelan collapse in real time, so readers here know that Venezuelans are fleeing Venezuela in droves. Nobody is trying to immigrate into Venezuela. Why is this important? Those types of statements tie into my peak Trump theory. Apparently, there are millions of Trump supporters who do not read alternative news sites like Silver Doctors, but support the president, so those supporters most likely think that people are just hell-bent determined to get into Venezuela. Amazing. But wait, there's more. You see, the president knows, and understands fully, that the economy is one giant confidence game. Quick question, if it is the highest consumer confidence print since the turn of the century, then which direction does that mean it will start moving? Another question, how do people not understand that? If something is as good as it is going to get, then it will only get worse. Giving this high level of confidence the benefit of the doubt, let's just think about how it relates to the economy for one moment. Apparently this confidence is fueling a booming economy, right? As Trump has said, the best economy, ever. Well, why is that? It is not because of confidence. Just off the top of my head, we have this booming economy because of increased government spending, corporate share buybacks, front-loading purchases in anticipation of the tariffs, trade wars, the tax cuts. Those things are frauds and shams, and they only serve to create the illusion of economic activity. In other words, that's a booming economy akin to Ivan on Reds, vitamin C, and cocaine, as the Grateful Dead once sang. Hardly healthy, and likely to kill you. But I digress. The red line is ringing. We have an important call to take. A window of buying opportunity has been spotted. Like I asked earlier, is this window just now opening, or is it about to slam shut? If we dip anywhere into the teens of the 14s in silver, as in $14.10 to $14.19, I'm gonna pull the trigger on some shiny physical silver. Since the GSR is still right at either side of 85, I'm not even concerned with gold at this point. Folks, we really are on the cusp of everything changing. So let's go there. I have said a double top in the GSR could be coming. Now, regardless of a few pennies up or down in the price of silver, the price of silver is totally dirt cheap right now. I'm just trying to maximize a purchase by saying I'm looking to buy a dip into the teens, but with the gold to silver ratio where it is, even if the price doesn't hit my buy target, I may still pull the trigger on what few ounces I can. Silver was successfully smashed below its 50-day moving average on Monday, and we have been falling ever since. It looks like I'm going to be wrong on the rash the markets theory, but then again, speaking of windows, there is still a window of opportunity for the globalists' deep state to do it. Truthfully, I'm not really sure why they want to keep smashing the silver price here. The cartel runs the real risk of disrupting physical supply if they keep on smashing. Gold has been hanging in there, but it looks like the yellow metal could be meeting blue line pretty soon. If I were a buyer of gold here, I would look to add with aggression anything below $1,205. That said, like silver, I think gold is cheap where it is now. Just not cheap like I think silver is. Palladium has pulled back from its all-time highs. Let's see how robust that support at $1,050 is. Interestingly, platinum is the only metal that has been holding up, which makes sense. Platinum took out the lows of 3 years ago, and it has been beaten down so brutally, that it is clear platinum has now begun to climb an epic wall of worry. I'm looking for platinum to put in a new higher high for more short-term confirmation of the trend, but if we ultimately put in an immediate lower low, I would be concerned we could be making our way down to a double bottom. I think that is the least likely scenario, but just to throw it out there. Why? Well, a lot of it has to do with the dollar. I have been talking about a double top in the dollar, and we got it. I don't think we are going much higher. I also think the president or Stevie will come out and try to talk the dollar down, either directly, or indirectly by bad-talking other nations and accusing them of manipulating their currencies, even though the U.S. Treasury just came out and officially said nobody was manipulating currencies. I gotta tell ya, peak Trump is so strong, I have never seen so many instances of having your cake and eating it too. Depending on what is said about the strengthening dollar, blaming other nations for manipulating their currencies verbally, but not officially would be one of those instances of having your cake and eating it too. The stock market was saved late in the day on Monday from utter freefall, and then rallied hard yesterday. We are at the moment of truth for my rash the stock market theory. I'm starting to get this uneasy feeling that if we don't get the stock market crash, we may get some sort of nasty false flag attack somewhere here in the US, or in some way that has to do with the US. I'd take the stock market crash every day of the week, because unless it's a false flag hoax, the sad part is that people actually die in false flag attacks. So for the sake of saving life, limb and property, let's hope I'm right about my rash the market theory and wrong about a false flag. But I have sidetracked. One final thought on the dollar. While I think the next major move in the dollar is down, not up, notice the dollar in relation to gold, silver, and especially the gold-to-silver ratio. It's like I said earlier. Everything is on the cusp of change. True, gold and silver can move up with a rising dollar, but either way, the double top in the dollar confirms the double top in the gold-to-silver ratio, and isn't it interesting that they are both right there topping out at the same time? In other words, all of this means relates to a very strong outlook for silver. The VIX was in the process of spiking, with the stock market save on Monday and the hard rally yesterday. The VIX has since pulled back. However, since we are at the moment of truth in my theory, if the stock market is brought down, we should get that spike in the VIX. The yield on the 10-year note is banging around 3.11%. I'm in a popcornish, wait-and-see mode with U.S. Treasuries. Moving on to the commodities, check out oil. Support looks like it is robust here at $65, and even at $64. Copper, however, continues to raise suspicions. A collapse in the price of copper does not correlate to a booming economy. That said, if we get the economic collapse which I think is coming, then we will likely get that infrastructure spend, and as such, demand for copper even with an economic collapse. Finally, check out the Mexican peso. Why are we checking out the Mexican peso? Well, it comes back to Stevie. On the 17th of October, he exchanged Stabilization Fund PDATED outstanding since 1994, swap agreement with Mexico, an agreement meant to stabilize the Mexican peso. When it took 18.75 Mexican pesos to buy $1 the day the agreement was PDATED, but now it takes nearly 20.25 Mexican pesos to buy just $1. An 8% move in the dollar against the peso in 2 weeks' time is AUTI definition of stable. In other words, there are some dirty politics going on behind the scenes, and in my opinion, it is Mexico is being punished, though the ESF, in retaliation for the Migrant Caravan 2.0. And why does this matter? Because have argued that the US and Mexico are also actively planning for the coming hyperinflation of the Mexican peso. And these migrant caravans may just be the spark that lights that fire,